Wow. Okay. Call this April 29th meeting here in the city of Ogden to order. Please, everybody join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yeah, I saw that too, right straight ahead. Kansas flag and. Right up there, yeah.
Yeah. Two flags.
All right, so that's a first. Works for me, okay. All right, well, good evening, everybody, instead of morning. Let's change of pace here for 2024. Not much. Everybody survived the storms, Greg?
Yep,
Tornado warning?
yep.
Tornado
went
sirens?
off. Yeah,
Okay. Figured you had that up your way. I got a little over 2.5 inches of rain. It all came at once, though, unfortunately.
Got about 2 3/4.
Yeah,
After, for the day.
I was gonna pulled into Dillon's Thursday mid-afternoon and was gonna go in to get some stuff, and I said, they seem to just wait. I wasn't gonna run from there to the parking lot. I just wasn't gonna do it, so I just waited.
I got soaked.
So
in
was
the
it
office
Friday?
in the car.
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
It was all good. Okay, well, we'll do as we usually do here and start off with some public comments this evening, not this morning, so go ahead.
Anna Burson, Riley County Appraiser. I just want to let everyone know that the notice of values for personal property were sent out today. So those should be hitting mailboxes this week. Property owners, personal property owners have until May 15th to appeal their value.
Oh, okay. So that way we're not surprised, huh? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. Anybody else?
Well, I'll welcome y'all to Ogden. I just can see we got a big turnout tonight.
Yeah.
I happened to hear it on the radio this morning. There's no reason I knew about it. So I'll go over and see what they're not doing this week.
Okay.
But welcome.
Appreciate it. Okay, well, I guess with that, we'll close off public comment and we'll open up to commission comments and I'll move to my right, start with Commissioner McKinley.
Okay, well, Thursday afternoon, we had a Zoom meeting with K-State's strategic planning group. Had an interesting discussion, about an hour long discussion. They were asking what local people's, local officials' opinions were on stuff, but no one from the city made it. But we had a good discussion. It was nice, nice to have them, had some thoughts on what they're doing. And then if it was Friday. We had a former employee, Jill Seaton, came over to visit us. She doesn't have a storm shelter. She lives 2 doors down, doesn't have a, and we told her we have one, and so she came over. She called, says, "Could I bring the dog?" I said, "Sure." So we came over, stood outside, we got a storm shelter in the garage, and stood outside the garage watching, with the door was open, they're ready to go, but kind of watching, and there was some weird cloud stuff going through, but.
It's ironic. She used to live just right up here on the hill right here back when I was a kid.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
well, and issues, yeah,
Yeah.
she lived in Ogden. And that's about all I've got,
Okay. Commissioner.
it's only weekend.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, my fast.
Well, due to the intense thunderstorm on Thursday afternoon, a meeting that I was planning to attend got postponed, so we scheduled another date. It was quite a storm, so seemed like the whole weekend was stormy. Friday, I had to have my home computer worked on, which took a lot of time, but still not quite right, but it's workable. Saturday, the yard work I had planned was rained out, so I spent some time at home watching weather warnings. Finally got to do some yard work on Sunday late afternoon. Had a lot left to do. you know, it's good to get back out in the yard and do some work.
Yeah.
Plant some things. Monday, well, that's today, went over to Meadowlark for lunch to meet a friend, and it was really good to go over there and see all the people. And it's, they have a great lunchroom.
Yeah, the restaurant
Oh,
over there,
yeah.
yeah, that's really good.
food.
Yeah.
Then later on, I reviewed paperwork and documents for this evening's meeting and, went by the office to pick up my laptop computer. And I forgot what. That's all I got.
Well, as for me, Thursday afternoon, I spent Thursday afternoon at home due to the weather myself, so I had a lot of Zoom calls. So I guess you could say I kind of worked from home Thursday. Thursday afternoon, I had a listen to KAC's April's Connecting Counties webinar. It was enhancing county preparedness with CART. Kind of ironic considering what happened over the next couple of days. Bob Postminski, who's the Kansas Animal Response Team's president, and Carrie Kornthal, Butler County Emergency Management Director, discuss how they use county animal response teams to meet state and federal planning requirements for companion animals and local disasters. They also touched on how the team's missions have been expanding to assist in small scale events as well as large animal rescues. Lastly, they discussed how CARTs are working to increase the numbers around the state and how they're working with incident management teams. Pretty interesting. Also on Thursday, I listened on the Council of Foreign Affairs April state and local officials virtual meeting. It was titled Energy and Trade Priorities. This was with Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt. He probably had a pretty busy weekend himself. The governor discussed his international priorities, including Oklahoma's growing role in renewable energy landscape, ensuring access to a sustainable supply of critical mineral, and deepening trade relations. And then a question and answer session followed that. And then I too was on that Zoom call with the Smith Group. It's doing the Kansas State University's update on their master plan. Several members of the K-State team were on that call as well. Yeah, and I was kind of surprised there wasn't anybody else locally. They said they've done plenty of those calls, but I don't know. Conversation was good nonetheless. Hopefully got some perspective to add to that plan moving forward. Friday morning, had a team's call with members from WTC, as well as some members from the local community and the Office of Broadband Development in the Kansas Department of Commerce. This was to discuss and say a few words on Riley County's behalf in regards to the ADOPT grant that we discussed earlier in the year. WTC has applied. They're one of the finalists for this. Provides free hotspot and Wi-Fi locations around the community and the county. I thought the interview went very, very well, actually. Questions that were provided were good and answered a wide range of things pertinent to the needs in the Manhattan and Riley County area. Should be hearing back on these awards in 4 to 6 weeks. Be very, very surprised if we don't get one of those. I would just be absolutely shocked at this point in time. Friday evening was kind of at home, kind of minding my own business, and my mom called all the way from Kentucky in a state of shock. Asked me if I was okay and well. I thought maybe she knew something I didn't, other than the obvious, of course. Apparently my stepdad's family, who lives over in Council Bluffs, got hit by the tornado, and they got hit pretty bad. Yeah, house, 2 cars, boat, all gone, all completely gone. So, I didn't have a chance to talk to them, but stepdad did. So she was worried it came our way, but it went east. So I had to explain that to her. But I told her, no, you might want to call back tomorrow night. And it almost happened. So I not want to jinx myself in the future. So I do wish my stepdad's sister, brother-in-law, and their family all the best in recovery. It's just tough when those things happen.
Was the house okay?
No, it's
Oh,
gone.
the house
Yeah,
is
it's
gone.
gone. Everything's gone. They found their boat 2 blocks up the street. Cars are smashed. House is all but 2 rooms destroyed. Thankfully, they have a basement. Thankfully, nobody was injured, killed, including the pets. So, yeah. Yeah. Lastly, just wanted to mention on a little bit of good news. Bonnie Mental Health has received full certification and status as a CCBHC from KDADS. They were provisionally, from I guess, July or August of last year. The provisional certification allowed them to introduce new programs, expanded models of care and additional standards for those quality of care. Now the full certification means they're embracing this model and will continue to provide care in the new expanded scope as they kind of continue to grow in that model. So just wanted to have done something good. And that's all I got.
Ready for business?
Yep, let's do it.
First item I have is Raleigh County Personnel Action Forms. I have one, and I have an addition, Commissioners, one on there, of course, for Clark Newhire as the volunteer. Firefighter stipend, Raleigh County Fire District, and then the second one is Bryant Parker, new hire, Deputy Raleigh County Counselor.
Yeah, that salary rate on his, is that per month?
And it should be, it's probably by,
Every 2 weeks.
yeah,
Yeah, okay. 'Cause usually that's like the annual. It's just a little low, so I was thought.
it wouldn't add up to that.
You'd be a little jealous, wouldn't you?
Well, we hired him.
Yeah.
That's 2 weeks.
Yeah, you'll meet him on the 13th
Hoping you can bring him in.
that morning. 13th. If I could, I'd start him before.
Throw him at us first day.
That's right. Absolutely true.
Commissioners, from Brittany Schwinn, we asked you regarding the budget scheduling on May 9th. We need to adjust it because Commissioner, there's a Zoom meeting, I guess, at 1 o'clock.
I have my national steering committee call from 1 to 2 on that day. She
And so-
said that there was time in the agenda to jump everything back.
If we work through lunch, through 12:50, if the board wants to do that, if not, we'll just schedule them for another day. We'd work straight through 12:50 and adjourn, or we'll have to schedule.
Well, it looks like we have some extra time on the 13th. We could move in and see if.
Well, Cindy will figure that all
Or
that out,
something,
'cause, yeah,
yeah, we've got, well, the two.
Hang on.
We have the various, what's it, groups mixed in with our
Yeah.
department heads, which is,
again, remember, it's based on people's availability.
Well, it should also be on our availability too.
yeah.
So
It is,
I
but
know.
that doesn't work on their schedule as well.
I think I'm more concerned about our department heads schedules rather than other settings, so we're gonna move them around more. That would,
So you,
Well,
it doesn't matter to me, I'm just asking, we'll get the schedule, either work through lunch or 12:50.
we could take a 2-hour break. Is your meeting an hour?
Table one day,
And come back after that.
Yeah.
Oh, they're trying to run the other cable.
You'll be done at 2,
yeah, I'll be done at 2.
so just schedule them after 2.
Yeah, we might go 2:05 or something like that, but
that'll run us to. 3:30, 3:15.
Do that. We're going to the lunch break.
Yeah.
Any changes to minutes, commissioners?
I didn't have anything.
I didn't have. anything.
Okay, then I would make a motion to approve the minutes as written, from April 25th, 2024.
A second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the April 25th meeting of the Riley County Commission. All in favor? Aye.
Any, of the tentative changes?
I didn't
Any items for next week's press conference? Commissioners, I have my, starting tomorrow evening annual conference here in town in Manhattan, and so I will not be here Thursday. Cindy will have you covered, and we have Mr. Holman at 6:30.
And I'll be joining you Wednesday morning at 8.
Hey, good, that'd be great.
Since we don't have anyone really here, I mean, we do, but we just get it off.
Right.
We're gonna have-
No, not gonna be here.
Director Pete and if I'm not mistaken, Mayor Pence is probably still at actually work probably until 7, so.
Okay.
Am I right?
You're always right.
I like to hear that. Thank you.
I don't necessarily agree with you, but you're always.
Yeah. I hear that a lot too. It's been an interesting week on the recruiting front, both sports.
Portal is
It's
swinging both
destroying,
ways.
it's destroying college sports.
We just root for the coaches, because they're the only ones here more than a year or two.
Wasn't a fan of the system from the beginning.
Everybody said it was, it could get out of control real quick, and it has.
I will.
Yeah.
Yeah. We get something up there.
I know you said you listen to Fitz is doing
Mhm.
and it shows up on YouTube and on the website. Like what on the YouTube site this morning, Day-Day's mom responded. Yeah.
What'd she say?
She was saying you have to do what's best for yourself. Basically, she thought the coaches didn't really, you know. Yes. Coaches have their favorites. They don't. Yes, which makes me think. Because I thought he was a pretty good player. And I don't care any kid. He did things. Certain parts they were good, but he was good.
And the thing is, it didn't mean slide them up and down. I mean, for him, like, when someone's come running across your lot first.
You can get a game for free throws. Because he can. But
You look in the back, you just pull down what you need.
With the tree, you get lost.
Yeah.
It was that big, but I just never put the
we talked about how. Play their favorites, so I thought, I want, and I
Don't we leave, don't we leave one?
Well, I'm feeling better and better about football
I manned up.
though. Well, not just that, yeah, we're getting a pretty good linebacker, it sounds like too. It's actually committed yet, but yeah.
Oh, we lost that.
He's transferring in from Tennessee. It's Tennessee, yeah.
He ain't nothing there.
My concern is offensive line, defensive line.
Maybe that was in the whack end of backfield.
You're gonna say, I don't know what he's talking about. I know I think it's that right now.
Dave Johnson, all three of Kansas kids.
This here. Like.
Back in the day.
I mean, like,
2002.
down there, Janice.
Sproles and Carlos Osop and
Yeah, but I thought.
the other backup, they were all from Kansas.
No, but the quarterback too.
With the quarterback.
Oh,
build a
yeah.
flag.
Quarterback or two running backs.
And
See, I didn't.
see the sidewalks, the sidewalks is
Yeah.
there, are
Yeah,
actually,
quarterback
if they
was.
came on through and go right through the front of a carport.
Oh,
So
really?
you see how it's like close to the street, like, I don't
If they
think,
go back
I
on
wonder
to
if
the
that even
running
had
backs.
permits
road
set
and
back or
Dickey,
anything
but-
on it.
I have no idea, but
I
We
got all
had a
kinds
lot of,
of people back.
Gibson had a lot of campus play.
Yeah, I mean, I just meant, you know.
Somebody has
the
metal
History, yeah.
Because
Is that her? Did they have that little blue,
it,
but
sport,
metal
a
one?
little late when it's
Somebody
in the
had one that
70s.
took
That'll
off.
really be interesting if they do some damage, it'll be
Yeah.
really good. Really
Okay,
without, you know,
but anyway, they built that one there, and I said,
Yeah.
it's kind of a strange looking duck anyway.
she didn't have a,
I don't know, I need to find out, I can't believe
It's
she
gonna be
did,
interesting
or,
to see how they're gonna
and I can't believe it, it's in a
efforts in to get
setback.
him on the field.
According to the, what she means.
I think
they're
they're gonna
gonna
use
put
them
a
everywhere.
stupid
As a running back, as a receiver. and-
Georgia team,
Yeah.
right, they blocked me some of the volley pass last week. You could ask.
Yeah, that's one thing I didn't realize. He's a pretty
do
good
you
pass.
have my paper
Which papers?
for my mowing contracts and such?
I don't, didn't bring them with me, so,
Are they, can I come and get them?
well, I'll have to get them first, so,
Thank you.
sure.
So I saw that,
Oh, yeah.
Habitat was gonna speak to the about that, those lots or stuff down there. Remember when Habitat was there?
They were there talking about that, see, we did that temporary thing so they could go down there and go out and get information.
Right, I was.
And that one
Oh,
basically said that didn't work out,
Hmm.
that's what they were saying, basically.
So that's really.
Well, it was, that
Yeah,
was,
but-
If they use it.
there ain't nothing wrong with the houses, to be honest.
Did you look at their design?
Yeah, they're terrible. Everybody, that's what people do nowadays, and they're cheap. That's why they do it. You want one you'd like, you pay $350,000.
No, I would just like them to make it one floor.
I think we gotta go down to rezone it and go down Amazon and buy them $14,000-15,000 homes and put them down there.
I told you that we need to put those mini homes.
These aren't mini homes. These are just, they come, you put them and you fold them out, you got a
I
house.
thought of, but I think you need some mini, there's, what do they call them, not mini homes? Tiny.
I mean,
Yeah, I need mini homes.
Yeah, I think that,
They're not cheap either, though.
No, but I said, I look at that one. Where they're looking on Amazon. I mean, you buy these.
It's basically, no, those are
Three
oversized sheds.
bedroom, you know,
Yeah.
$24,000. That'll include a lot of plumbing and everything you need, but still, that gets you in a cheap ballpark with a fairly decent looking thing.
Pretty basic.
But who wants to put up the money is the biggest thing.
well, I thought that I thought that water and all that. was
Yeah,
in
you
there.
still buy homes.
You still got plumbing into the house.
I've seen it.
Run the water lines.
Yeah, I've seen the
He's
catalog.
reality
Slabs,
of it,
everything.
too, so-
Catalog,
All
it
that in there.
looked like a catalog, but it was a blueprint on how to
We're still-
lay it out, put it together. It's kind of interesting.
Right.
Now
We
Sears
have been
doesn't even
forever, yes,
exist.
that's why we're trying to come up with a plan to get them gone, but.
Right. I would not, I would not live in a lot of
Even
time.
though it looks so tiny, but most of them.
They face each other.
Bedrooms on the second floor.
Well,
It's really, like, I don't
believe
want
it
to
or
go
not,
upstairs.
people like that nowadays. I don't understand. That was my thought too, but that people crave that, believe it or not. Why, I don't know. We're old school. We're old lady days, remember? We're not the modern kids. If they would have been bad, they could have made it this way. Then you could put a garage on one and the other too, because you look at all the Habitat, they don't have garages and stuff. They all got junkyards in their house. They got all this stuff piled outside.
It's the best hospital.
That one habitat down opposite of my
That's what
block,
we keep saying,
has their porch.
a bed and truck
Yeah.
there is eventually.
And they got kids,
It's
they got all
gonna
the kids. and
determine
stuff,
that we're gonna
everything
have to
else.
move.
But they just Habitat, half the house in there got look like a junkyard. I mean, there's
Bedroom
got a lot of
No, but
storage
there is-
containers in front too. So they
Not
can
a lot
let
of stock
them
like that. I mean, there is, but
Well,
it wouldn't work.
Take away the living room.
Yeah.
they won't.
And they said, how much junk can you store anyway, you know? The only part I can think of is Johnny next door. He could use like 3 storage containers in the back. And he still wouldn't have enough.
That's what we're doing in my son's house, we're building right
In
now.
the-
I think he thought he had a little too much, he started hauling everything off. And that's got all stacked out there, you probably will never touch it.
Well, it's funny when they're building a floor slab and then there's one concrete room. Have you seen that? You know, one concrete room sticking out.
Been doing
Closet.
closets in
Yeah.
the master bedroom, but still, I don't know.
She needs a bit heavy duty door on them too.
Yeah, you gotta get, right,
Yeah.
those aren't cheap.
No, that's all right, yeah.
You know, basement, our house was built in. when we were building it, put it in with the grant program, that's exactly the thing, built in the apartment.
So, yeah.
$1,000.
No, how much?
I don't know, yeah,
Most of
my
the
son's
cities,
looking
when
right
we,
now.
when they redid 18, we did that drainage just down along the airport. I mean, he used to always flood down there when I was right down by Briggs. We'd flood every down year. Almost guaranteed, or at least some years a lot, because after they did all that remorse, we don't,
You
the
know,
problem went away.
That housing unit did flood, that's why there's some empty lots over
I
there.
haven't figured out
Davis,
what's in
Davis Road
Lodge and-
over there. A lot of shit over there, so without-
There's no ventilation.
And also flooded.
A lot of people that rent was behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah,
Yes, it
yeah,
would.
yeah.
Yeah.
They moved out there by,
They built it.
Because in our school, they.
probably
I think
they're-
right into the garage or something.
So, yeah, so. It's flooded, that's why.
PVC
he-
pipe. in there.
that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
I said, I think,
I don't,
Stuck
think-
in
I think
there.
they,
We never
I
mind.
think they flooded it, but what
Our
I.
doors open
The
inside.
ditch
but
is up and.
you keep the doors bust open in so they can't, so you can't get
Stuck in there.
But they put a lock on the outside, so
It's
somebody
just
just.
one.
The
yeah,
outside.
it's like a town, city,
They
it doesn't
don't-
matter. if it's
Because
there.
they have such beautiful grass up there.
I would have.
Ours does have a key, but,
Put morning grass in.
because we got those metal ones
That's
that
what they told us.
that's bolted down.
Anyway, so I had.
Well, if,
A guy,
if they don't want it, they ain't worried about the water, then it
one
don't
guy by
matter.
himself came in, delivered it, and I don't know. That's
Don't know.
anchor bolts in concrete. He was sitting inside that thing with a hammer drill without any air protection. And that metal thing, it had to been. I mean, I was outside and it was horrible noise. I can't imagine what it sounded like
What if they are?
in that room for him.
The harm about the drain, and they don't want to drain.
Because this is the way. it's gonna be.
And then, because I saw him, and then when he came down, I said,
Yeah.
"Why'd you do
Otherwise,
so?" I forgot to bring
otherwise you're gonna have
any
to
ear.
cancel
I
it.
said, "You should have said something. I've got some in the,
You
and I didn't think about it, but I assumed he had something.
You can't have it both ways,
Well, once,
How
one
big
said,
or send them all,
You can
bucket
get
in a
this,
sponge.
ours was like
it's funny, one neighbor said,
4 by
well, they have
6,
a
I think.
but they don't want their grass wrapped, and then today I talked to the ones that she said, and then they said, well, she's the one.
They got a light in there, not saying that.
So they're back and forth, but.
But ours has a vent
It's
inside.
dark in there too.
No, we just got, well, we had a lot, but Jan said the batteries, because she tested the batteries. they had in it, so we need to- But ours has a vent, so, when it's
Yeah,
deflect, you can't, it doesn't go straight out, it goes.
No, got you.
I guess that one.
Vents around so nothing flies through.
if I ever stop in the
Yeah,
parade,
no, you missed
I'll
it
be
either.
know that I'm in there.
Okay, we'll come.
Oh, good, the sun's coming out again, it'll start warming up over there. It was quick, and they're a lot of way there. They're all cooking.
We were to, I just
Yeah.
had to meet
I have one
one,
of those in mine. Sure do.
I mean, you
Last
don't have
one's
to,
on the inside.
you can open and shut the door, just like that, open.
Yeah, they don't like that very well.
It's here. It's a little straight.
You have to think about things. You do.
That kind of.
Light switch, the lock, yeah, means there's a lot.
Like the big Russians have, they're both, they're easy to go up and
It's
down.
doing good, actually.
You don't need them when you
Yeah,
need
some
them.
could fall against it.
Yeah, earlier when they first started, they were always
Push it in.
hard. I think they went outside and said it was hard. At least it had to come back.
Well,
But
it's
yeah.
not locked.
6:30.
We had that straight one. We have
Yeah, that thing was something
like $70.
crazy. Yeah, I know, I got to do that all day. It's Sunday at my son's place.
Where is it?
It was the one that burnt down last year. And a tree falling on it, that power line.
Oh,
It about got hit again by a tree. Just about to get it back movable into here tonight.
Well, I've got some big sick. Oh, good. Looking at how they do this.
Well,
I don't think it can happen.
One that's
You didn't need
sitting-
it.
No.
One side of the house.
Cereal.
Well,
Oh, cereal. I haven't eaten all day long.
yeah.
Well, I noticed Sunday evenings, there's some trees where it didn't pull the roots, I mean, it looked so quickly cut off at the ground, it just broke off right at the ground.
Ready?
We're at 6:30, yeah.
All right.
Good evening, Commissioners. Clancy Holman, Riley County Counselor. First item on is the pending projects list. Going on to the second page, we start getting this with some substance. Again, this is just a snapshot of the things in the last reporting period. The very first entries into the wrong department. Don't know why I put delinquent real property tax sale work under the countywide emergency radio communication system upgrade. I was in a hurry to get that one entered, so. But other than that, it was work that was done, but it was not, it was obviously the delinquent person, the delinquent real property tax sale entries usually are under the treasurer. Because it is the treasurer's sale by statute. Then you move on to some of the other matters that are on here. Obviously, many of them, several of them are related to the transition. Because I'm picking up experience again on areas I thought I'd left long behind. And managed to assign to someone else, particularly under the planning and development. We got several items going. Obviously, two, it's an entry for Senate Bill 384, which was signed by the governor. I've been working with planning and development to discuss pending properties that are in some kind of nuisance situation, particularly a very handful of those that have been going on for a while. And were quite frankly the reason, the type of properties that were the reason for asking for a statute change. So working with their code enforcement officer and putting together a plan to move forward on those things so that once the statute is effective July 1st, then they can be dealt with under the terms of that statute. And also got entries for some documents that were relevant to the EMS HQ and getting some documents approved as to form. Got that done. I do not. They know exactly to the moment, basically, how many are left. I do not. They know exactly to the moment, basically, how many are left because they're getting the most of the contact as people call in and want to redeem or.
I know you
information
start with
on-
so many and they start.
Oh, absolutely. Most of
Send
that-
out notices that they start paying attention and get paid off.
Well, actually, what really brings the first round of redemptions is the very first letter that's sent out each year. Because that reminds people, you pay now, then you're not eligible for this year's tax sale. You don't have to get current, but you have to be at this point, and then, because we're just telling them the truth, it keeps them out of that next year's tax sale.
Cause then later you have to pay all 5.
You have to, once you get past a certain deadline, you gotta pay everything and bring it up to date. Unlike a mortgage foreclosure and a tax sale, there's no right of redemption after the sale. And many people make that mistake. Sometimes attorneys make that mistake. If they're not familiar with the process, they will get. Over the years, with the case, I had an attorney call and say, well, how much redemption will my client have after next Thursday's sale? We'll say none. Because under the statute, the chance to redeem is the day before the sale. And after that, then the property is sold. And the idea behind a tax sale, again, people think that it generates operating revenue. It does not. It writes off taxes. That's the whole point of it. It writes off delinquencies and it hopefully gets it in the hands of a new owner who will then pay the property taxes from that point forward. But it is not a revenue producing source.
Yeah, you only get a fraction of what's due.
You get a little piece of it and it's expensive actually to pull the tax.
That's true, yeah.
Because you got all the staff time involved in it and you've got the expenses of, putting
Sending
everything
out all the
together,
letters.
sending out all that stuff, all the notices that we're trying to do, but you've got to do it. You have to do those. The whole idea is to get people to redeem and pay before the property goes to auction. And you'll also end up with lots of, generally at the sale, you will have people who've maybe gone to a seminar or these days gone to a webinar. Haven't gone anywhere, watch something that they're going to be millionaires by buying tax sale contents. Well, there's a reason those properties are in a tax sale and somebody wasn't paying taxes. And normally it's because of condition, over size of the lot, regular shaped lots, a lot of times
You'll get nothing out.
you'll see certain properties. and
Lots up along the lake, but
Bridgeview Heights is a good
It
example.
goes to them.
Over time, some of those have been,
They're
actually, some of the
consolidated.
adjoining lots have been combined. But the problem with some of those older subdivisions is the properties are on small lots. You cannot really put sanitary waste systems on. They're so small, they just won't work. Then you have to have them adjoining. And that's kind of been done by now. Over the, and there was a time when there's still the ability to combine some of those. But I also had a bunch of them. Sometimes you'll get, it's good if people have questions about the property to call in, ask for a little information, particularly if something sounds too good to be true. Because a bunch of those were sold as having a lake view for cabin sites, supposedly. You'd have to have pretty good eyesight to see the lake.
yeah, I mean,
From those.
when the trees are, when there's no leaves on the tree, if you stand up on the roof, maybe.
Maybe. But, you know, people sometimes jump at the opportunity. And you will have buyers that'll say, well, I bought this, but I got bid fever at the sale. Because it's pretty exciting. I mean, if you're sitting there and you haven't seen one before. And people do, there are people who buy the properties and actually do something with them too. We get a mix. Not everything is bought on spec. The successful properties tend to be those where people have done some research, gone out, looked at it, kind of checked into the zoning, find out what they can actually do. We always encourage people to do. All right, unless you had other questions, I'll move on from the project list, exciting though that is. Next item I've got is the resolution for adopting the new Riley County Employee Policy Manual. We saw that last week. This resolution is intended to create a good permanent record of when it was actually adopted. So there's no mystery in the minds of anyone who's subject to it as to when it became effective. And whatever employment issues dealt with in there, say it's a matter of discipline. Well, no, this is when the rules were in place. HR has already done a good job of sending out electronically. I think for the first time this year, there's been widespread. I mean, we've had electronic signature before on the various versions of the policy. This time, I think it went out to just about everybody. That was the idea, certain time it was put together. And it's not just the manual, it actually directs employees to print it and read it and then sign this. You have to have that later on to show at least you presented it. The opportunity to sign and the opportunity to read. And you have less excuse to not read it now because it's substantially shorter than it's ever been. With that, that's again the point of the resolution. I would ask that you go ahead and approve it unless you have any questions. It is effective as of the last time you saw it. When you approved it in the open meeting, that's what this runs from. In the future, what we hope with the separate procedures manual, when things do need to be updated or changed in this performance in the policy manual itself, you should be able to do those very often in the procedures manual. And it should go faster. Should be more. The ability to make changes quicker is the idea. If you have questions, I would ask that you approve the resolution.
When we make changes to this policy or to the procedures, potentially, do we have to come back and do a separate resolution again?
We haven't really got through that yet in terms of how we'll approach it. I suspect you probably are going to want to do a resolution. Once again, you're going to want to formalize it and show that it was actually done. Most things by default, for official action by the board, normally want something on big issue, you want a resolution. I promise less paper, not a whole lot. And as time goes on, there will be more paper associated. But it won't be in the manual itself. And it should be reserved for things that really change.
Or added?
Maybe, depending on how the law changes. As those things relate to personnel. Managers.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, I would make a motion to, adopt the resolution, for the Raleigh County Employee Manual effective March 25th. That's resolution number, 042924.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution adopting Raleigh County Employee Policy Manual effective retroactive March 25th, 2024. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
All three, please sign.
Thank you, Commissioner. And that's all I have.
Well, maybe it's sunset.
You know what I? It's pretty nice shoes.
The police were today, right? So they. I don't think that. What's the last one? Take out the joke today. Maybe. Bring it up when I see every time. So I'm here with your call.
I get to. Two of them were less than, because when I came back,
Oh, no, thanks.
two of them were coming. Yeah, it's good.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah, all in my yard. Had a deer, one night I had a deer, possum, a skunk,
Tasty first life.
It's a petting zoo.
George. Yeah, I went right up there. I'd go walking around because he was sleeping and stuff. So I walked in. I always end up in the shop. I come back with the furs, come back with the dress.
I think about that every day.
Yeah, we were in the hospital for like 6 days. So I called it. I called it boutique, but SF boutique, Sioux Falls boutique. I took I went to Sioux to all my office. What are you gonna do? Go back. Oh, yeah. Are you going to the Mount Rushmore? Yeah. There's a lot more things I haven't seen last night. Yeah, you can go to the Pine Tower. No. Where's that at? It's on your way to, it's west of Sioux Falls. On your way to Mount Rushmore. Almost not where they film Desert Hills. Oh. That was city.
All three of the walls.
One.
You can see they, in North Carolina, they're all drugs. Three federal marshals, that's where you go. I think there are 8 awards. South Dakota, wall drug killed. You ever been there? It's, I think, 3 federal marshals. Yeah, cause
It started out as a little drugstore back in the 30s. When they were taking over drugs, when the yellow shell and the alcohol
three federal marshals, and you know how to do the teasers.
to travel.
I didn't get a
people
chance
go
to
there.
put one out,
Big
like,
turns,
it's-
when
they
they
didn't-
got revenue statue.
Where's it by?
Right on the
I
interstate,
think it
out
was-
in the middle of nowhere,
Marshals.
all drugs, east west.
Oh, 90. We only took 90 from.
In aggregate. And.
What do we take 90?
Aren't you glad you're not in New York? It's.
About an hour before,
I want to do protests. I built the crime all day, the
North
protests.
Dakota.
No, because I always thought when I went to Rushmore.
Yeah.
3 were killed and another 4 were shot.
Where's South Carolina?
Yeah, Charlotte, just outside of
Right
Charlotte.
there.
Yeah,
where
the
the
car
car goes down.
Yeah, I don't know how far west we went.
I went all over to Oregon.
Today,
In New York.
they found the suspect, he was found dead.
Where that officer was. The guy was stopped in the bus zone or something like that. The officer walks up and just shoots. It's,
He's serving a warrant for possession of a firearm.
Oh,
He's a convicted felon.
That's coming from.
Arrived at the residence and the suspect began firing.
Every time I brush, I get this big black face, like, blood under the.
Yeah.
You rip them, they'll peel off.
Like that. Mine, I don't mind go down.
There's no
I don't do nothing to them. This one
Otherwise, it's gonna steroids.
Yeah.
dog license.
I'm working in the yard, I got that damage.
So you got to have respect.
And when I turn it,
Deal with that and
it
focus
runs off
on.
me.
Where's your gloves at?
Respect for other people. Right now,
But,
it's just.
You know, what, the John dermatologist gave me skin bleach to
I
put on them.
don't know the day I saw it.
But you know what?
If you repair them off, they'll come back to normal. Of course, I got so many.
But if you do it, but if you do it,
I was saying, I watch news all.
I mean, you could get it to fade out, but thanks to.
Bleach on your body, that's really.
Hair bleach.
Yeah, bleach is bleach.
Yeah, but you
Where you
can't-
could get amputated, put a new arm on off a younger body, and you'd have young looking skin and hands.
But they come back, I mean, like.
They
yeah, let's put it
Mine
in.
comes back here, I brush stuff.
Mine-
We're
yeah,
at 6:50, so
Mine wants to
Director
be
Pete.
today, but
Back to me.
tomorrow will be like that.
Good morning, members of the county commission, members of the public, then officials, hello, I'm sorry, not good morning, that's what my mind said.
I almost did the
Good
same.
evening. Brian Peake with the Raleigh County Police Department. There's several different things I want to inform the commission and the public and the officials here in Ogden about with what's going on within Riley County. The first thing is I'll go over some of the statistics. These are back from March. Part 1 crime for March is below the 5-year average, which was for us is about 35%. Well, we were 35% below the average, the 5-year average, with the 49 or 42.9% decrease for Part 1 crimes. For Part 1 violent crimes, March was 15.7% below the 5-year average. Year to date, Part 1 crime is down 20% from the 5-year average. There were 13 aggravated assaults and batteries, 1 rape, and fortunately 0 robberies and homicides reported within March of 2024, which will bring me to some more discussions as I'll get into of some of the recent incidences that we've had lately here in April. In robbery, there were no robberies reported for March. For aggravated assaults and batteries, there were 10 aggravated batteries and 3 aggravated assaults reported for the month of March. This is 8% above the 5-year average, which is kind of where we're seeing this uptick. And I have my theories as to why, which I'll go over. 3 of the incidents that occurred in March were domestic related. As of the 8th of April, there were arrests in 8 of the incidences that occurred. So while we're seeing these things happen, officers and the investigators are acting quick, promptly to make arrests throughout their investigations and their cases. For property crime was down about 38% from the 5-year average. Year to date, we are 26.9% below the 5-year average. The property crime for March included several structural burglaries, 5 larcenies from a motor vehicle, 1 auto theft, and 0 arson incidents. The rest of the incidences were pretty much petty larcenies or higher level larcenies. Obviously, structural burglaries, we were about 50% below the 5-year average from March. 3 of the burglaries were non-residential, 4 were residential. Each occurred in Manhattan. Last month, we were 72.5% below the 5-year average for vehicle burglary. There were no signs of forced entry noted in 2 of the reports that occurred. So again, the public's being more diligent in locking their vehicles and those different types of crimes of opportunity. Motor vehicle thefts were down 85% from the 5-year average. There was a vehicle stolen by means of fraud. It hasn't been recovered as of the 8th. I'll have to double check on if we've made any progress on that case. The number of DUIs for March was 40% below the 5-year averages as well. So I think all in all, number of traffic incidences that's right at the 5-year average, and the number of preventable traffic incidences was 8% above the 5-year average. So again, things are kind of ebbing and flowing in the central area, but I think particularly like what we were kind of talking about during the break is just the level of depravity that we're seeing and the types of crimes that have been occurring recently throughout the month of February. So the department is working again on targeting these different types of things. A majority of these types of these problems are coming through obviously by means of narcotics. So when you have narcotic sales and things to that effect, you're going to see the residual effects of that. You're going to see people vying for positions. You're going to see people having beefs with one another, and that might include, robberies, aggravated batteries, aggravated assaults, shootings, and things to that effect. Now, what we have in Aggieville is an entirely different animal with what we have in the general population throughout the county. So Aggieville is more of a targeted area that we cannot necessarily be proactive on. We just have to be resilient in our presence and the partnerships and cooperatives that we have with the Aggieville Business Association there. So that's something that our department is turned up the notch on, that myself, Lieutenant Asher, will be headed out in Aggieville speaking with the property owners. We have a meeting set up with Dennis Cook and some of the other bar owners to discuss what is a concerning, I would say, rise or level of concern with people in the community. There's several people who are saying, why is all this stuff happening? happening in Manhattan? Why is all this stuff happening in Riley County? And folks are concerned, and we are also concerned as well. We want to make sure that what we've been seeing over the last few days is not a permanent trend. It's just one of those things that unfortunately happens within all of our communities, but we want to get a hold on it as soon as we possibly can. Obviously, the council knows, the commission knows that this is budget season. We have submitted a budget to the law board, looking at, again, ways that we can move around monies that we already have. How are we making it effective with some of the programs and technologies that we have, some of the contracts that we have? They may have been relevant 3 or 5 years ago, may not be relevant now. Government operations are very fluid. We just can't say, well, this is working, or we've already paid for this and we'll just leave it alone. We have to make sure we're trimming off dead skin that we don't need. So with the conversations that we've had with the law board members, we were asked to go back to look at budgets that will are in the area of 5% and one at 6%. The initial budget that we brought forward was over 6%. And the majority of the cost that we're putting forward is due to cost of living increases and is due to the Arnold Group's salary survey. The only other thing that we're looking at, and then operational costs. So things like fuel, utilities, what we're all dealing with the cost of services and everything to that effect. The department has not necessarily, over the last several years, has not adjusted the accounts that we have where we pull money from for operational spending. So if we had $100,000, for example, with fuel, we haven't touched that over 7 years, even though fuel costs have gone up. So we were looking, again, we looked at what monies do we need in certain accounts that we have earmarked and where can we transfer that money around. So we're very confident we'll bring something back to the law board that will be consistent with what we've been asked to do. We fully understand the concerns that all of our taxpayers and community members have regarding inflation, the cost of government, and the cost of living, how that's gone up. So we've also put in for, we're also got approval to put in for 2 additional grants. One of those grants includes how can we work on traffic control within Ogden. So we know that's a very, very serious concern with the residents here. And then looking at how do we, again, prevent or reduce recidivism from within the county jails. I also want to bring out a few other things. Just the community advisory board that we have is we are looking for new individuals who may be interested in going for the community advisory board. All you have to do is log on to the website, to Riley County Police Department's website, go to the section for community advisory board, type in your information, it'll come out. We'll bring it in, have a discussion, and bring on new blood to our community advisory board. So if anyone's interested, please go online because we have a process that we're working on to try to try to just open it up to the public so the public can actually compete or put in for that opportunity to work with us. We did complete a feasibility study. We are not at this point ready to provide that to the public at this juncture yet. Before we do that, we want to make sure that the county commission sees it. And again, I want to make sure that the caveat is extraordinarily clear. This is the feasibility study that's only done for strategic planning for the future purposes. It's not done with the intent to try to push the council or the law board, I'm sorry, the commission or the law board to act on anything right here, right now. We want to make sure that we're in line with what the vision is how we're planning and financially moving forward for the next several years to come. So we want to make sure that we're part of that responsible package. The other 2 things I want to bring up is on Friday, Senator Marshall will be coming into the Riley County Police Department. He wants to have a roundtable regarding fentanyl, opioid abuse, misuse, overdoses. It's a huge concern for the senator, as it is with all of us. So he wanted to do that. We're going to be hosting it at the Riley County Police Department. There will be several other agencies, law enforcement agencies, that will be coming there to have this roundtable discussion with him. And that also includes Commissioner Mata and Commissioner Ford will be there as well. So again, this is something that we know affects our community in so many damning ways. And everybody's concerned for it. We're looking to try to figure out ways to get through that. And with that being said, I was invited by the Police Executive Research Forum, or PERF, who does a lot of research in regarding new ways of policing, evidence-based practices, strategies, those types of things. So I got invited, one of other 50 other folks, to come down to, or go up to Washington, DC, to talk about fentanyl, the opioid crisis, and different things like that. So we get to meet with subject matter experts, see what is kind of promising in the field of research, get different ideas, and then try to bring those ideas back to our areas of responsibility, and hopefully maybe even some opportunities to see if to network and see if there's some funding opportunities for some of the best practices that we think are promising, to see if those are things that we can implement down here within Riley County. So outside of that, I have no other information and stand ready for any questions that the commission may have.
Nothing at this time.
Well, thank you all very much. Have a
Thank you,
great
Ryan,
day.
appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We did, appreciate you.
I was told the mayor went to the wrong place, so maybe a few minutes late.
Went to Manhattan.
She didn't say where, so I don't know, but so.
John, you're going to that, substance abuse thing on Friday.
It's a round table. It's not a substance. Yeah, yeah. It came up a week ago or so. He wanted basically the police chiefs and whoever kind of surrounds them, I guess, to be there. So for us, it's the law board.
That'd be interesting to see what kind of input you get from that.
That's kind of why I said yes. I rearranged my schedule to make that one work.
Yeah. Seems to be getting more population.
Yes and no.
Hiding somewhere. See who washes the windows. I'm calling Owen House to get in here and maybe send it up. Yeah.
Put some blinds up.
That's separate. So you got two things here. First of all, get things clean.
You know, but you wait till.
Don't get them a little dirtier.
Yeah.
Out the sun.
Throw some mud on there, maybe solve two problems at once.
If you wait till you get blinds, then everything will look new.
Yeah.
The windows will still be dirty though.
No,
It
then
will.
you fix them and then everything looks new.
Rich, just so you know, I'm no longer willing to trade seats with you.
Yeah.
I got you. What, screw up the windows?
To wash the windows. Come on, let's put some.
My son-in-law comes up and wash my professional window washer. He did it fast and looks good. He blew me off last year. Probably disappointed.
Surely there's some community service out there that's needed.
Yeah, we'll have kids with mud up there rubbing the windows, saying, oh, yeah, and getting that a voice.
You need to go talk to Mr. Pete,
Who?
Officer Pete, Director Pete.
What?
He'll send somebody over. I'm needing community service.
No, he's not in charge of that.
It is.
I gotta talk to the judge.
Yeah, but to get somebody that does it for a living, they got all the equipment and stuff too.
Mhm.
They don't have, no, we go get these people, then we have to get them here, and then we gotta go get buckets and soap or Dawn. That's what most of them
I
use.
think there's only like two places that do that anymore, isn't there?
Yeah, ONS and well. Perry.
There's an older gentleman who used to do it for years, and I think he retired.
Need to City Hall too, that's disgusting.
Oh, you need, did you?
I haven't been in there yet because they don't let me go into private parts. I gotta stand outside and try to peek around the corner.
On that window there in the front where this, we needs repaired on that sheet metal?
Yeah, well, I got that on my list. I just don't know what I'm talking about yet because I haven't seen it.
It's
But
Wednesday.
that doesn't stop me. I'm a politician. I can talk
But
about
you know
anything.
what, you can stand outside and see that.
I don't know, with all the dirt laying around there, it's kind of hard to see.
It's really irritating me.
Well, next time when they public comment, get up there right away.
No, that's why I told you about it.
But if you're there, you've got public comment carries more power than I do. I see you start working on the walls.
Yeah, but you
today.
guys will
Oh,
vote
that's
on it.
good, that's good.
I ain't sure what they're doing, but they're working on it.
You guys can bring it to a vote. I can't do that.
What?
I vote,
Like, maybe,
You can
I vote
express your
that we-
concerns or make.
I vote we get a bids to repair that wall. See, I can't do that. I just have to say, hey,
on the front.
yeah,
Ah, okay.
I ain't seen what's wrong with this. I don't know what you're talking about.
well, I'm gonna make sure you see that,
They're gonna make sure.
yeah. Well, it's been there since I think Aunt
I-
Mary was.
I've
there.
never been in that part of the building. I gotta beg to get in the building to start with. Yeah, all night. Wish we haven't been sleeping, don't make any difference. Look at the sun right in your eyes. Why if you
Yeah.
had shades there, it wouldn't bother you.
Rich. You see that? Did you get that letter?
Yeah. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
You must fertilize your grass, cause it looks nice. Golf course grass. No dandelions, nothing.
Did you put more grass seed out?
I ain't put nothing out this year. I ain't had no money.
It looks good.
I did get the clover spray to kill that purple stuff down, knock it down.
Oh, I saw
What'd you spray it with?
Huh?
What'd you spray yours with?
I usually get the weed be gone,
The weed
but they got the one for the clover. That's the one I got. this
Just
year.
for clover?
Well, it kills other weeds too, but the weed be gone doesn't kill the clover stuff. So I get the clover stuff, it'll kill the clover and most of the other weeds.
Yeah, it looks like.
I have to go back to Bluebell tomorrow.
With these.
I have to go back to Bluebell tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, great.
Want my sod.
What is it? You can come home, people pick up sod.
No,
Pretty,
it's-
I
Huh?
mowed
Not
it,
Zoysia.
kind of big, and it grows back, but it's base.
What kind of grass are you?
But it's good for
Soy
erosion.
Soy. Well, that's good grass.
It grows
Yeah.
down, it goes.
It's nice grass.
Yes.
Thank
You know, it's easy maintenance. I mean, I have that around, you know, but the mold can't get into it.
Mhm.
And that means you can't
I'll
get
send
out.
all the gyms out.
Yeah, they can't.
Them darn moles are
Those
back.
mold. But in my backyard,
I was thinking about getting some dynamite.
in my backyard, in that one area in my
Run them
back-
all over the neighbor. I get them, they all run to the neighbor's house and hide out. I kill them all. And then as soon as everything wears off, here they come.
They come back, yeah.
Well,
They need like the big German Shepherd's house. Maybe they catch a couple of them. According to over to get up my yard probably, because they're all over there now.
I know this. One lady put a picture of a rat on Facebook. And she called it a mole, or what's the other, a bowl? Is it a bowl? A mole on a bowl?
I don't know. Yeah, I heard of vole. It could be a vole.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
called it yeah, it was funny because nobody really said it was a rat. But you could see the tail on
Yeah.
it there, but it was a boil or
Oh,
a mole.
Those are terrible.
And no, I just bought,
I said, I got rid of them all that one year. Well, you were there when I killed them that
Yeah.
one time when I had it all chopped up and the muddy and you see them coming across. I felt like I killed them that year. I thought I'd wipe them out, but they ran over,
wow.
they went over to Pam's and rebuilt, came back and
I know,
attacked
you
again.
know.
Yeah.
Have you ever put the garden hose down there in the,
Yeah, I don't know what it does.
I put the garden hose out and then I know, and I see them come up there, you know, and so I watch them and then when they come up, I have my hammer there. Back up.
yeah.
Are you sure they're dead?
Yeah,
It's good.
But
John
do you
Travolta.
still have them?
John, I didn't have hardly any last year.
But you still have them. See, my thing is kill them all and get
Well,
done with them.
I ordered this grass out of Canada that I have a patch in my back and they're supposed, like the Zoysia, they're not supposed to. Get
It's
in,
not mole friendly.
not mold, it's, yeah, I'm anxious to get it out.
They kill the grubs and moles.
I put grub.
I put all that grub, I put 2 bags of that on it last year in the same week and that's like, I guess that those worms must have got big because they attacked big time then.
I just put 5 bags on my front sides. Grub it. What?
What about Nightcrawler X?
No, but I read that, 7, 7's supposed to. I'm gonna put some on.
Well, I don't even think about getting a road tiller. I could redo my yard anyways if I could eat 5 level.
Oh, you have a beautiful yard.
Your yard looks good. I mean, we can do, get level.
Well, they're looking good because
Put a string of legs.
Mackenzie's doing a good job of helping mine look good now. They don't want to mow it because the darn German shepherds that my mom saw. I think it must have been in my yard. I had a few big dogs.
Yeah.
Surprises.
Well, Matt mowed it the other day because he's got some cover in the front.
That Zach down there's got that one dog, we got the 2 pups. She gets loose about every day, it seems like. Run around town.
Yeah, the cats kill my grass. But, yeah,
Cats.
I don't have any cats. I got a squirrel problem now. Ever since I found all those squirrel nuts up against my house, because I picked them all up. They're over there on my back porch.
Yeah.
All day long. The dog's having fun. She's shaving them.
Yeah,
They're just visiting you, ain't it?
Oh, they're wiping out that, if I had like 600 nuts there, I probably only got like 150 left now. And the shells all over the place.
I'd relocate those cats, but after talking to Wardy, I better not, because if I take them to the pound, I have to bring them back.
Hey, well.
Communication with us each being out.
Where did you go?
Mission room in Manhattan.
He was right.
How did they not let you know that it was here?
I called David, well, whenever he told me a week or so ago, and then I called and said, dude, there's no meeting tonight. He goes, I know it's the 29th. He goes, I talked to Kim. Uh-oh.
Jim said you probably.
Yeah, I was all locked up down there.
Yeah.
And
Well, you're on, so go ahead.
Okay, good news, I wanna thank Angela, DOT Thriving Communities Program, we got 1.95 million. Soft cost for the Riley Avenue corridor project, and also with Kansas, Water Office. Technical assistance grant, we got $407,000 to help us with water and sewer,
I know
so.
a lot of the meetings I come to, you guys are always struggling with water, it seems like, so. At least in the short term, that's probably a bigger deal.
Yeah.
On the other grant, for some reason, the $10 million is sticking in my mind for the approximate price for the entire
Yeah,
project out here, so it represents
at
about
least that's a good start.
20% of it, and I figured that probably takes care of a good part of the engineering and the
Yeah, it's
salt work.
soft start, I
Yeah.
guess would be the easiest.
And
way
you
to
had a
do it.
little bit of match that you were gonna put with
Yeah.
it already and a few extra dollars that were laying there already to
Yeah.
kind of work into the equation, so. And we had you had a couple other grants that are laying out there too, safe,
Safe route for
Safe routes, yeah.
and then there was one other one, wasn't
one to
there?
resurface the Main Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're kind of trying to get everything.
Get everything
so we're
pieced
not-
together, I think.
Yeah, so we're not putting something down to tear back up later on, but yeah.
I'm assuming you'll probably then try to go after DSIP after that
Yeah.
for the rest of it.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you're in good shape for that.
Yeah, hopefully.
I think so.
Yep.
Anything else?
What is the plan? $10 million plan, what all are we planning to do?
Redoing, running utilities underneath, replacing all that, taking it clear down to base, the concrete, whole.
Start all over.
Yeah,
Revamping
there's
it.
several different kind of ideas we're floating around about out there, maybe some island deals. And stuff like that, maybe some, separation between the 2 different lanes, maybe narrowing them down a little bit.
We talked about maybe incorporating that safe routes to school.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very, that's really important
Yeah,
for our children here, right?
Yeah, coming across the road there, that's a
It's
wide,
dangerous.
that's a wide run for
They're
them.
right.
the irony it is while the school children are going to school at a certain time, that's the same time that you're getting the heavy density traffic going through here, so. that
Actually,
makes
that's
it even-
good, though. That slows them down. Everybody's talking about the speed and it slows them down. And in the evening too, coming out, you hit them about that time and slow them down too, so. And the policemen having fun.
I know you've been working on the park area and stuff here. Anything new there?
Nothing definitive yet, playing around with some ideas, gonna try and get the bathroom / concession stand, get it started hopefully this year.
Struggling with the pools like all the other smaller communities too.
Unless we get some help,
Yeah,
but it's not open this year.
seems to be the case
We
every
got, I think. Second week in May, I think is the last, class to take lifeguard training. So unless we get some people signed up this week, I'm gonna say it's probably not a good deal.
Trying to get lifeguards.
Yeah.
Pretty hard.
That's it from me. No more 20 questions. Okay, appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Sorry for the miscommunication.
Yeah,
I
sorry about
guess.
being late. Yeah.
Okay, well, that completes the last item on this evening's agenda. Thanks everybody here in the city of Ogden for having us here this evening.
Yep.
It's the first one of 4, I guess, isn't it? Yeah, okay, so. We'll get to the other cities up north here throughout the rest of 2024, so. That's all I've got.
I'll make
I don't have the list on me.
I'll move to adjourn the meeting.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn the April 29th meeting of the Riley County Commission. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That